Happening now, why New York is trying to purchase COVID-19 vaccines directly from the manufacturer. Plus, the latest in the armed robbery of a local quick-fill store.
Well, it's not over yet. Lake effect snow continues across the region this afternoon, and that's going to continue tonight. We'll let you know where it's headed next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Amid frustration with the lack of COVID-19 vaccine availability, New York State is now looking to purchase doses directly. The idea, however, might not come to reality, as pharmaceutical giant Pfizer says it would need federal approval to sell the state governments. Under the current system, the federal government allocates vaccine doses to states and ships them. The Federal Food and Drug Administration's emergency-based authorization for Pfizer's vaccine specifies that it will be supplied as directed by the U.S. government. Governor Andrew Cuomo says he felt compelled to propose the idea, though.
I sent the president and chairman, Mr. Borla, Dr. Borla, a letter asking if New York could buy directly from Pfizer so we could increase our supply.
The federal government has been paying $19.50 a dose for the Pfizer vaccine and has ordered 200 million doses so far, enough to give the shot regimen to 100 million people. Other nations around the world have also placed orders with Pfizer. Earlier in the pandemic, Governor Cuomo complained about the U.S. states competing against one another or being outbid by the federal government for the then scarce protective gear and ventilators. At the time, he called on the feds to nationalize a medical supply acquisition of those items. Well, doctors with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say the U.S. has dark weeks ahead with the COVID-19 pandemic, predicting the country's death toll could reach 500,000 by the middle of next month. John Lawrence reports this as the U.S. tries to improve vaccine distribution nationwide.
About 60% of the more than 24 million confirmed COVID-19 cases in the U.S. were reported since Election Day 2020.
I'm not convinced at all that we are past the worst of it.
Johns Hopkins University reports new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. in the past week dropped 11% since the previous week's peak. But health officials aren't feeling optimistic yet.
If only we had a national plan the last 10 months, what a big difference that would have made.
One main area of concern, bottlenecks with the vaccine rollout.
We've distributed to the states about 31 million doses of vaccine. We've only given 12 million doses.
Another issue, a COVID-19 variant, first identified in the United Kingdom, is spreading in the U.S. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, at least 122 cases of this more contagious strain of the virus were confirmed in 20 states.
It will infect many, many more people, and unfortunately probably will end up killing more people than the current main strain that we've been dealing with for much of 2020.
President-elect Joe Biden says his administration's goal is to deliver 100 million doses of vaccine in his first 100 days in office.
It's been very clear from the Biden team, they don't want to do a federal takeover. What they want to do is they want to partner with states and they want to coordinate with states.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. A White House official says that President Donald Trump plans to lift an executive order imposing COVID-19 related travel restrictions on much of Europe and Brazil on the last day of his term. A spokesperson for the President-elect Biden says that the incoming administration will not re-implement that order. Well, a traffic alert to tell you about now. A portion of Steel Street near the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities will be closed today as crews work to repair a water main break. The roadway is closed in both directions between Sprague and Barrett Streets. The BPU says the water main break at the top of the driveway near the Jamestown power plant happened Sunday night. It was in that area and water has since been restored. However, further repairs are needed. Those visiting the BPU's customer service office are asked to enter the driveway closest to Brooklyn Square and then reach the office by driving through the garage's parking lot. No discolored water is expected as a result of the repair work today. Well, police in Wharton, Pennsylvania are asking for your help to identify the suspect in an armed robbery there. The City of Warren Police Department says the robbery happened at the Hickory Street Quick Fill Saturday. They say an unknown man entered the gas station claiming to have a gun and demanding money. The male suspects, investigators report, left an undisclosed amount of cash. He is approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall. Anyone with information on the man or the incident is asked to call Investigator Dyke at 814-723-2700, extension 127, or you can email them. We have that information and more posted now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Connie. Good to see Kim. Good to see Debbie, Travis, and Bob as well. Let us know what you guys are doing down in the comments below. Great to see Mary, Joanna, Dave, Joseph, and Esther as well. Hopefully you're all having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in. Well, now let's get a check of our first defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter has been very busy over the past few days, keeping us up to date on this winter weather, Dakota, that only is going to continue here today.
Yes, indeed. It is a full blast. It's our first real blast of winter weather in 2021. This is a live look over Salamanca, and there's not a whole lot of snow falling here, but we're looking north because there's a snow band in northern Chautauqua County, and this is the best view we have of it. We're looking north kind of into it, and actually these are the snowfall totals as of this morning. This is what came in. Casadega at 8 inches. This is over the past 24 hours, so this includes, this takes into effect last night and then early this morning. DeWittville 6 inches, Silver Creek 5 inches, also in Faulkner 3 in Mayville, Cattaraugus 3 inches, Jamestown officially at the airport, which is north of the city, 3 inches, but again your total is going to vary depending on your actual location. Here's that lake effect snow band. It's actually started to weaken off now, at least early this afternoon, but it is ultimately going to re-strengthen once again as we go into tonight. And you can see Salamanca right here. The camera would be right about here, and we're looking north into this lake band. So again, that's the closest view we have of that for you. But again, you can see this lake band mainly impacting areas to the north. And also with that, we do have some fog around. 3 miles is the current visibility in Jamestown right now, 7 in Olean and 8 in Dunkirk. So watch out for that this afternoon. 31 was the high yesterday. 24 is where we started the day. 64 and 23 below zero, record highs and lows way before our time. So lake effect snow showers continue. The heaviest amounts of the snow is going to be confined to the Chautauqua Ridge to the North County. An additional 2 to 5 inches today. Colder, 27 to 33, and a biting wind chill. So dress appropriately. The snow continues into early tomorrow. Then more cold air arrives for the weekend. We'll talk about it in a few. Justin.
All right, Dakota will be looking forward to that full forecast. Thank you. Well, our area's state senator is touting expanded funding for a program that helps not only local farms, but provides food to New Yorkers in need. Last week, Senator George Borrello joined a New York City area lawmaker in drafting legislation that would further the Nourish NY initiative. The bill, Borrello says, establishes a permanent program to distribute surplus agricultural products to local food banks around the state. In a step forward to achieving the goal, New York State committed another $25 million for the program. Borrello says by establishing a new channel for moving fresh farm products to those in need, the state not only responded to the crisis at hand, but addressed the ongoing challenges of food insecurity and the local agricultural economy as well. In its current state, the program is temporary, established during this pandemic. However, Borrello plans to make it permanent. Well, we are learning more about Governor Andrew Cuomo's executive budget today. This as the state continues to wait on state and local aid packages from Congress. New York State Capitol correspondent Karina Capabianca sits down with a budget expert on what we should be keeping our eye on.
The key is to be realistic about the size of the problem, realistic about the federal aid, make less painful first choices, and then if you want to assume some federal aid, have a contingency plan.
That's the advice Citizens Budget Commission President Andrew Ryan has as the Cuomo administration finishes up its state budget proposal. The governor has said the state needs $15 billion from Washington. In the past, he said there could be across-the-board 20% cuts to schools, hospitals, and localities without help.
The governor keeps talking about a $15 billion revenue shortfall, but it is an old projection. And since then, Controller DiNapoli has said revenues are coming in $4 billion higher or more than that. So suddenly we're talking about $11 billion. The December federal aid package, while not directly benefiting the state, its education aid, transportation aid will also help offset some of the state's implicit cuts.
Ryan says while there are hard choices to make in balancing the budget, spending should be looked at first.
Restructuring our capital program, our economic development incentives that aren't creating jobs, that can probably save $3 to $4 billion.
He says as some in the legislature have talked about raising taxes on the wealthy, they should look at education aid to wealthy districts first.
The state supports wealthy districts to $1.6 billion a year, and these are districts that already fund a sound basic education with their own resources.
While the governor has proposed revenue raisers in his State of the State address, like legalizing and taxing recreational marijuana and mobile sports betting, it's not likely either of those would generate significant revenue in the short term. Last year's proposed state budget was $178 billion. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Karina, thank you. Aid to local and state governments is part of President-elect Biden's COVID-19 relief plan, and New York State Senator Chuck Schumer expects the state to see more than $50 billion of federal relief here in New York. Next, why New York's governor is one of many not attending the inauguration tomorrow. But first, here are the charges levied against a Gary woman after police allegedly found drugs in her car over the weekend. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back. A town of Gary woman sits in Chautauqua County Jail after she allegedly was busted with illegal narcotics police believe were slated for sale over the weekend. New York State troopers pulled over 34-year-old Amanda Sendall on Federal Place in Jamestown Sunday for an alleged traffic violation. Troopers searched the vehicle after allegedly seeing drug paraphernalia in plain view. Following a more thorough search, police say they recovered a bag containing methamphetamine, 8 bags of heroin, several needles, and items commonly used for the sale of narcotics. The woman is facing a slew of charges. Police say she was processed and taken to Chautauqua County Jail. Well, a raging pandemic, economic crisis, and the threat of possible domestic terrorism all await President-elect Joe Biden once he assumes office tomorrow at noon. Nadia Romero is in Washington with the latest there.
We're waiting for two big announcements from the Trump administration on what is the president's final full day in office. And that could include a list of pardons. Some 100 people could be named, and also a long list of executive orders.
Checkpoints, barricades, and up to 25,000 National Guard troops. Washington looks like a war zone on the eve of one of American democracy's most important rights.
What we see in Washington, D.C. is overwhelming forces being deployed to make sure we have a peaceful transfer of power.
On the last full day of his term, President Donald Trump will likely be issuing dozens of pardons and commutations, all as he is set to face a post-presidency legal battle of his own, an impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate.
The people who are going to be the jurors, those 100 senators, are not only witnesses but also victims of the crime.
First Lady Melania Trump issuing a farewell message Monday.
The past 4 years have been unforgettable.
As the Trumps plan to leave Wednesday morning for their Florida home at Mar-a-Lago and skip the historic rites that traditionally mark the transition, including a White House meeting with the new first family. But as Trump departs, Joe Biden will assume office amid unprecedented crises.
I'll speak for Joe and myself in saying that we're going into Wednesday knowing that we're ready to do the work.
The incoming administration says they're ready to take swift action to improve and speed up COVID-19 vaccine distribution, stamping out the virus and bolstering the economy.
We do believe with hard work and with the cooperation and collaboration of the members of the United States Congress that we can get it done.
Vice President Mike Pence will lead his final coronavirus task force briefing this afternoon, as nearly 400,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus, and that is why it is a top priority for the incoming administration. From Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Meanwhile, New York's governor will not be attending the inauguration. Governor Andrew Cuomo says his decision comes amid a rise in threats against state capitals following the insurrection in D.C. earlier this month. The governor says that New York State Police have made preparations for potential demonstrations in Albany, and police are on standby.
I think that my place is to stay in New York State, given this possible circumstance.
The FBI has warned of potential violence at state capitals and have said it's tracking an extensive amount of chatter online, including calls for armed protests. Well, some good news for sky gazers who still like to send messages the old-fashioned way. The U.S. Postal Service is shining a spotlight on the sun in 2021. NASA's images of the star at the center of the solar system can be found now on forever stamps. NASA official Thomas Zuckerberg says it's inspiration and to be able to share the important and excitement studying of the sun. The 20-stamp set is comprised of 10 images, including the sun's loops and ultraviolet light. More information at NASA's website. Pretty cool. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. We get a check of news and weather that matters to you. And we also like to engage in the comments down below, so let us know what you think. Good to see Emma, good to see Patricia, Kathy, and Becky as well. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter in the First Defense Weather Center. And Dakota, I think that's the biggest thing when you look at the sky. A lot of people around here, maybe today, we got to see it a little bit this morning, the sun, which we haven't seen too much throughout this winter. Yes. Oh yeah, felt really good. I always feel bad because my desk is probably, I'd say maybe about 4 or 5 feet from the window. I'm pretty close to it in the newsroom. And
you get the
I get the
window
rays.
seat.
Yeah, I get the rays coming in.
Yeah.
But I gotta close the curtains sometimes because it's so much, and it always makes me sneeze. I don't know about you, but something about the sun makes me sneeze. And in today's world of COVID,
You're allergic
nobody
to
wants
the sun?
to do that. No, but doesn't it like they say that if the sun shines on you, sometimes you can sneeze. Happens to me every now.
I've never heard
like
that.
Not over abundantly sneezing, but like say the sun's behind a cloud and then it moves away, and this is like the first time today that I felt the rays, I'll sneeze a little bit. I know that's
I've
weird,
never heard that.
But
but here's another piece of trivia. How many years are left of the sun before it dies?
I hope a long time.
About 8 billion.
8 billion. All right, so we're good.
Yes.
But
we're all going to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
When the sun finally fades out. But it's about halfway through its life cycle, so it's got about another 8 billion years left. Who knows what will happen? Right. I might still be here.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's take a look at the graphics. And hey, if you're not a fan of the snow, you might be a fan of this. If you want to get out on the ski slopes, all the ski resorts are reporting new snowfall as of the past 24 hours, 6 to 30 inches in Peak, Holiday Valley 12 to 42 inches, and Mount Pleasant 8 to 30 inches. The primary surface here is looking to be machine groomed. So again, the skiers, snowboarders loving the snowfall accumulation for the ski resorts down there. Lake effect snow warning continues for Chautauqua County until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. They actually extended this morning, and this was not a surprise when they did that because obviously the lake effect snow is still generating, and it's still going to throw down some good snowfall accumulations by tomorrow. Winter weather advisory is in place for Cattaraugus County. The lake snow warning was canceled and replaced with this winter weather advisory there. Let's get you right to the radar, and you can see right here, this is that lake effect snow band that's coming off Lake Erie, impacting portions of eastern Chautauqua County going out into Cattaraugus County. And again, at the top of the show, I showed you the Salamanca camera. The camera sits right here, and we're looking north into it. So the snow that's out near Little Valley right now is actually being shown up on that camera. So the satellite and radar composite, again, just shows you the hooks hooked up, the lakes hooked up in tandem here. We're getting moisture from our source region from the upper Great Lakes, and that is going to continue generating lake effect snow. So we have up the threat level a little bit with the lake effect snow. It is going to regenerate here as we go through the afternoon, and the heaviest amounts of the snow again is going to be confined mainly to the Chautauqua Ridge in the North County. That's also the highest terrain, and we could see some thunder snow as well. So call up Jim Cantori because he's the thunder snow man. 26 degrees right now with a southwest wind to 16, and the wind gust is at 25, so the wind chill at 14. It is going to be biting out there this afternoon, so dress appropriately for those temperatures. Future scan here shows you the lake effect snow band. It is going to be jogging north and south, especially this afternoon and into tonight here. So watch the snow band kind of jog a little bit and start to dissipate, but watch it regenerate once again. And the darker blue strips indicate the heavier amounts of snowfall. This goes until tonight, and then by the time we head into tomorrow, the best chance of snow is going to be in the morning, and then finally the lake snow will start to cut out as we go through the afternoon hours, but we're still going to see a few couple light lake effect snow showers in scattered nature as we go through the afternoon. So additional snowfall on top of what we already have. The pink strip right here that runs from Mayville out into the Chautauqua Ridge going up to Springville in Erie County. This pink strip right here, you could see upwards of 6 to 8 inches. Again, the 8 inches is the highest number, 6 lowest. Always focus on the lower number, and something in between about 7 inches. 3 to 6 what you work down toward the city of Jamestown itself, 2 to 4 down to Warren County, and 1 to 3 further out to the east. The lake snow band is mainly going to be confined to this northern area here. So as you get further south and east, you're not going to see as much. So the zone forecast today, the inland areas, temperatures much colder today, maybe only upper 20s will do it, but that wind chill, biting, ferocious. Next 7 days coming up right now, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 24 tomorrow. Best we'll be able to do, 1 to 3 inches in the morning, tapers off for the afternoon. Scattered flakes Thursday, 34. A potential for more snow, a couple inches out of that on 30 on Friday. Look at the temperatures go down Sunday and into the weekend. We could see our coldest day this year come Saturday. We'll take a break, be right back. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smoking deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, President-elect Joe Biden has tapped Pennsylvania Health Secretary Rachel Levine to be his Assistant Secretary of Health, leaving her poised to become the first openly transgender federal official to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Pediatrician and former Pennsylvania physical general, Levine was appointed to her current post by Democratic Governor Tom Wolf back in 2017, making her one of the few transgender people serving in elected or appointed positions nationwide. Levine joins Biden's Health and Human Service Secretary nominee, Alex, a businessman, and others who will be part of his panel. The top government infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, will also work closely with the Biden administration. Well, mortgage rates in the U.S. are kicking off 2021 by setting new records. Interest rates are at historic lows. So what does this mean for people who might be looking to refinance their home? Meredith Wood with a closer look at that in today's Consumer Watch.
Record lows for mortgage rates. The average interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage dropped to 2.65%. According to Freddie Mac, that's the lowest in the nearly 50 years the mortgage giant has been publishing the survey. Real estate investors say now may be the best time to buy a home or refinance.
Right now, I would be refinancing any houses or any house that someone might have into lower interest rates to lower their payments and maybe even getting some money out as a buffer because no one knows what's going to happen in 2021.
The 15-year fixed rate mortgage also dropped to 2.16%. Freddie Mac says rates for both 30-year and 15-year mortgages are nearly a full percentage point lower than a year ago. Real estate experts say that while the low rates are bringing more home buyers into the market, high demand and low inventory are raising prices.
I think this is a perfect opportunity for people that are in a situation where they have to rent to maybe look at getting a mortgage instead of just renting.
According to Realtor.com, in December, the median listing price for a home was up more than 13% from the previous year. And while Realtor.com says the number of homes for sale dipped below 700,000 for the first time. Investors say buyers can still take advantage of low rates and offset the steep rises in home prices if they expand their horizons and are flexible.
People can move out 10, 15 minutes from where they're looking in their search criteria and still find those affordable houses.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Meredith Wood.
Meredith, thank you. Mortgage rates in the U.S. are kicking off by setting these records. For more, visit our website, WNYNewsNow.com. Well, pop 'em if you got 'em. Today is National Popcorn Day. January 19th celebrates all of the different ways that the corn-based treat can be enjoyed. You can have it savory or sweet, caramelized, buttered, or even plain. You can even toss it with some chocolate or nuts or mold it into a ball. It all counts. According to the Popcorn Board, yeah, it's a real thing. They've been around for as early as the 16th century. But it didn't start becoming popular in the U.S. until maybe the mid-late 1800s. The Popcorn Board says Americans consume 13 billion quarts of it each year. That's supposedly more than any other country in the world. So Dakota, FYI, that Popcorn Board is a non-for-profit that was started back in 1998 with an act of Congress at the request of the popcorn processing industry. You learn something new every day.
I didn't know there was a board of people directed to, popcorn. Oversee popcorn or, the stamp of the seal approval.
Right.
Popcorn or whatnot.
Popcorn's great. It's my favorite snack. I really if that's my go-to. I love it. Even plain. I love the air popped popcorn. I think you can just pop that and just eat it the way it is. And
we have one of these. It's actually a tabletop version of the old-fashioned, what do you call those things? The old-fashioned popcorn cart makers like you see at county fairs.
Right.
Yeah. We actually have a small-scale version of one that sits on the countertop. And so, we actually make popcorn through that now because it's air popped instead of, putting it in. I mean, the old people will remember getting the big old sauce, the big old pan out and
having to do it over the. They still make those, the Jiffy Pops.
Yep.
And you can do them on your stove. So let us
But
know
I'm talking about,
how you're celebrating Popcorn Day in the comments.
But you see, that's different though compared to what I was talking about. I was talking about you pour the kernels into the pot, with the oil, and then you take the whole
you have to
pot
make
and
it
you
yourself.
shake it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beyond my time. Good to see Sheila. Good to see Scott and Denise. Real quick before we go, Dakota, I want to take a final look at some of these forecasted snow totals.
Yeah, so this is additionally on top of what we already have through tomorrow afternoon. So in that dark pink strip between Mayville and Springville, you could see upwards of 6 to 8 inches of additional accumulation. 3 to 6 once you work down towards the city, 2 to 4 further south, and 1 to 3 out towards Olean. That's additional on top of what we already have.
And of course, forecast 24/7 WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.